Hi, guys. Hey, friends. Hey, everybody. Happy New Year's Eve. Hope you guys are all having a good day. This is Startup Grounds. I'm Faith Mariah. I don't think there's new people here, but you never know. The internet, people are interneting around. Oh my gosh. Before we do the celebration stream, Matt bought a bag of these at Costco. What are these? They're Cadbury Caramello. Do not buy these. I can't stop eating them. I absolutely cannot stop eating them. Hey, Andrea. Yay. Andrea's here. We're going to do some celebration. I thought this would be a great way to end the live stream. You guys that have been in the community, if you've been in the community a long time, let me know in the chat if this is not your first New Year's Eve here. But I love New Year's Eve. I started my first business as a New Year's resolution. So I think it was in 2017, 2016. I need to look up the dates. You guys know I'm not good at remembering names or dates, so it's pretty inconvenient. But I started my first blog as a New Year's resolution, and I started it in January. And I just made this decision where I was like, my life has to be different. This cannot be my life. I was just really unhappy, especially with my job. I was in a relationship that was ending, that was coming to an end like at that same time. And I just remember like New Year's Eve laying on the floor, kind of being like, this can't be my life. Like something has to be different. And I don't know if anybody can resonate with that. I think that's a pretty human experience, or maybe somebody's feeling like that now. And I launched my blog, my first blog. I've since sold, but it was my first business, really my first online business, my first time doing anything online, my first business I ever had. And I was obsessed with it. I worked on it nonstop. That's pretty much all I did for almost a whole year. And 10 months later, I quit my job and I've been self employed ever since. And so New Year's Eve just really has always felt like a magical time for me. You guys know, obviously, this is Startup Grounds, right? This is my show where we talk about goals and goal setting and mindset and drink caffeine, my two favorite things. So, obviously, as a goal setting nerd, I feel like New Year's Eve is like our day, you know? Happy New Year's Eve. Yay. Hi, guys. Don't buy the s'mores clusters there either. Okay. I won't. The problem with Costco, okay, is when you find a treat that you like, you have so much of it and I just cannot, I can't stop eating them. I've eaten like 20 of them today, seriously. Okay, let's go into this. We are going to go through, I want to just get some good energy going. I thought it would be fun if we could celebrate the year. I have a whole bunch of questions for us to go through. We'll just get some really good energy going in the chat, good energy going on the stream. You guys like this little overlay? Look, I put little champagne glasses on the overlay on the screen. I really love doing the branding stuff for this show. I don't know what it is, but it's like really fun to me. So, yeah, let's get into it. Welcome to the 2025 celebration stream. We're going to celebrate your year. This is the end of 2025. I think it's important for us to like take a minute and be like, we fucking did that, y'all. We made it. Like, I don't know, who you are, like what you've been going through, but I know as humans in the human body, having a human experience, you've had some ups, you've had some downs, you've had some really great moments and some beautiful moments, and probably some also really difficult moments and confronting moments. And I really want to celebrate all of it. I really, when I was planning this, I don't like the idea of us just coming and celebrating like good things because I really love the duality in life, right? I love like the beauty and the beautiful moments and love and laughter and happiness and all of the things like we all love, right? Peace, all that stuff. But I really have a deep appreciation for the struggle and the suck and the tragedy and the grief that's also life, right? And I just think you can't have one without the other. And our whole human experience has a lot of duality in it. So I'm sure nobody here had a year that was just 100% like we're just feeling great every moment, every day. I don't think that that is the real human experience. And so I wanted to do a stream that would honor the entire experience, not just like the happy moments, but also some of those more difficult moments that we've all had to, because we fucking made it through. It's 2025. We're all here still standing, right? I wanted to remind you guys, Action AI is up for grabs, but it's the last day to get it. So if you watch the two Finish Strong live streams, I can never remember what I named things. The two Finish Strong live streams I did, where we did the goal setting in December, then I did two bonus live streams. If you watch both of those and you put the password in, it'll unlock. I know some people had difficulty, but it's working now, so you can go put the password in. Or if you had difficulty, just email Kelsey and she'll send it to you directly. Action AI is a custom GPT. It is trained on my framework, so it's a lot of like cognitive behavioral based therapy. It's really like I designed it for myself when I'm like stuck and not wanting to do the thing and need some like coaching to get going. And I made a version of it for you guys. You can get it for free. We sell it in some little bundles and stuff over at Empowered Soccer, but you guys can get it for free. It's like my December Christmas gift for you guys. For my business owners, where are my business owners at? Plan Like a Boss tickets are available now. If you're in the mastermind, I'm going to send them to you for free. But if you're not in the mastermind, you can come plan with us for $10, which is amazing because we're doing an all day business planning, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. planning extravaganza. It's my favorite event we do all year. I hope you will come. I think it's going to be awesome. And then one more announcement, apply for the Next Level Life bundle. So if you have an online business or you know somebody that has an online business or you know somebody that has a small business, we would love to feature them. So a lot of what we do at empoweredsoccersociety.com is feature small businesses. I'm always looking for people that are doing really good work in mindset and personal development, in health, in DIY, in any of that kind of personal development-y, good lifey kind of stuff. So if you guys know any people, send them my way. And if you have a business like that, apply to be part of our event because you'll get in front of thousands of people. We'll put your business in front of thousands of potential people. And it's an awesome event because it gives our community access to really high quality resources for free. We only make it available for a few days. And then it's awesome for the small business owners because they get their word out about their work and more people know about them and they get in front of a bunch of people. So that's always really fun. You can go to faithmariahevents.com, tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your dog, everybody can fly. All right. So let's get into it. This is a no downplaying the shit you did this year zone. You guys like that? This is a no downplaying the things that you did. I'm going to pull some questions up on the screen, and I already know your brain is going to be like, well, I did that, but it wasn't that important, right? Or I did that, but it wasn't really that big of a deal. I just want for the next hour, this is the deal I'll make with you guys. For the next hour, we're all just going to make everything a big fucking deal, right? It's like we're alive. Like we made it through a whole year of everything, all the ups and downs with our human brain and all the emotions and all the feelings and all the experiences. And we're going to fucking celebrate that. Okay. So I don't just tell your brain, like, take a seat. It's only for an hour, right? Your brain can go back to being a little hater after my live stream, but it's not invited to my party, to our 2025 celebration party. So you guys can join me. We're going to go through these questions. And I just want you to really think about like big deal energy. Like, I'm a big deal. My life is a big deal. This year is a big deal, right? Our brains love to tell us, like, it doesn't matter that much. So and so stuff is better than mine. It wasn't that hard. It's like, what if it was a big deal? Like, what if you did have a really miraculous year? What if it is a big fucking deal? Like, that's the energy we're going to be in. Like I'm saying, it's only an hour. You can be in the energy for an hour. And I just want us to leave the year in that energy. Like, you're a big fucking deal and we're here doing it. Like, we're all having this human experience. So we're going to take some time and celebrate that. So I'd love to hear in the chat, what were your biggest challenges and failures this year? I just wanted to start talking about failures because like I said, I wanted the duality in the live stream, and we're going to talk about the celebrations and stuff too. But I think we can celebrate the challenges, right? For me, mine definitely were my physical health. I don't know if I told you guys this, but I put my neck out this year. That was incredibly painful. 10 out of 10, don't recommend. I couldn't get out of bed by myself for like 2 days. And that was really challenging for me. There's something really challenging for me about like physically not feeling well or like being hurt. Like there's something about like just having that lower capacity, not being able to function the way I normally do. that was really challenging. And you guys know that have been around the community. I struggle every year to exercise consistently. Maybe this is the year I'm really going to work on the identity shift, right? So interesting because I think a lot of times when we set goals, it's like, I got to make a plan and I got to do this and I got to do that. But really, I think what it comes down to is like shifting my identity to be like, I'm a person that values health over everything else. And I'm a person that prioritizes my physical well being over my business, which I'm not always great at. But that would be like my new identity. Right. And I love the idea of like shifting your identity so that we're able to execute on the things that we want consistently. Because if I see myself as someone who struggles with working out year after year after year, what do you think I'm going to do when we go into 2026? It's like, that's why those patterns like replay, right? And so maybe this will be the year I buckle down and shift my identity around health and fitness. Oh my gosh, we hit January 1 2 hours ago. Oh my gosh, Calvin, we're so far apart. The world is vast. Calvin is in the Philippines. Calvin is in my community, and he helps authors grow their email list so they can get in front of more people and sell their books, which is so cool. Yeah, Happy New Year. Yeah, this has been the most up and down year, from having an awesome new job experience to losing that job and getting a cancer diagnosis. I'm so sorry to hear that. But being fortunate enough to get treatment. Yeah, right. It's like, gosh, that's such a good example of duality, right? It's like there's always things we can be sad about and things that are tragic and things that are hard. But I think those like moments of like hope, right, and gratitude, even though it's still, I'm sure, shitty and still sucks, you have cancer, right? It doesn't make not having cancer suck any less. But it's like the moments where you can find like, yeah, but I can get treatment, or I have support, or I have access to X, Y, and Z. Those moments to me are like some of the most beautiful moments in life, I think. Thank you. You guys appreciate my graphics. Thank you. I made them in Gemini. I did not make them myself. If you're in the mastermind, I'm working on we're doing an AI photo shoot. So you guys will get the rest of the prompts today. I'm still messing with them, but they'll be up probably later this afternoon. Yeah. Who else had an up and down year? I fought burnout big time this year. Yeah, you definitely did. Biggest challenge 100% was my hospital stay. Oh my gosh, and preemie baby. Oh my gosh, Haley, I forgot about that. Yeah, we were all praying for Haley. In my community had a little tiny baby. Oh my goodness. I was so happy when you guys got home. I shift into, I'm someone who works out and goes to the gym because it makes me feel better. Yeah, that's a good thought. I'm going to borrow that. Biggest for me was imposter syndrome. Took me a long time to realize that it would never go away. Yeah, that's so interesting, right? So I love thinking about like emotions and thoughts and resistance. So if it's like I have imposter syndrome and it's a big fucking problem and I need to fix it and I can't move forward till I get rid of it, then it just like creates all this resistance and keep you stuck. But if it's like, what if everybody has imposter syndrome and you have imposter syndrome and it's uncomfortable at times, but it's okay and we can still move forward, right? And it's kind of that idea that we talk a lot about like partnering with negative emotions, right? It's like, what would it look like to partner with imposter syndrome in the next year, or partner with whatever it is, that we're all struggling with? What would it be like to partner with that? And instead of resisting it and being like, I don't want to have imposter syndrome, I want to be confident, I don't want to be this, I don't want to do that, I don't want to think this, I don't want to feel that. What if we partner with those things and let them be part of us and let it be okay, right? Obviously, I'm talking about small emotions. Like, I am an advocate for mental health and I'm not a therapist. So if you're having big emotions like depression, anxiety, like grief, like that kind of stuff is really real and needs like real treatment. So that's not what I'm talking about here when I'm talking about this stuff. So don't ever use the stuff we're talking about on the streams against yourself. My mental health and sorting out the right medications and dosages. Yeah, that is a tough journey. I have done that journey too. And it is really hard, but it did, I think ultimately save my life, right? So I'm also very grateful for it, even though it was a really difficult journey. Yeah. I started my grief coaching business this year and I'm adding training to be a death doula in 2026. Wow, Heather, that's incredible. I've been feeling more and more like I'm on a hamster wheel with other parts of my life. It's kind of funny how life does that, right? It's like you get traction in one little area and then there's other areas that still feel stuck. But I kind of want to normalize that a little bit, right, Heather? Because I think if we think about it, do you guys know anybody that is like thriving in all areas of their life all the time? Like, I do think that's a very human, like, where one area will start like going really well, and then maybe there's other things that kind of like feel stuck or are having more conflict or more resistance or more struggle. I think it's just very, very much part of the human experience. Realizing the environment at my job was toxic and now wanting to pivot and not knowing how in this economy. Yeah, it's hard, right? Right. But it's good to have that information, right? It's good to like, at least, like you can start thinking of opportunities. We were talking about this on the call last night, but the first step to like making change is awareness, right? So you have this awareness that your job is toxic. You can't really do anything about it if you don't know, right? And then that sometimes we'll know and we like don't want to acknowledge, we're like not ready. But you can't make change if you don't know something is happening, right? So now you see that it's toxic. Once we see something and acknowledge it and know it, our behavior in reality doesn't change instantly. It takes time, right? So I believe like the universe starts rearranging when we change our intentions, when we change our actions, when we change how we're showing up and who we're being, that the universe will rearrange and like put these little miracles in front of us, right? Like little serendipitous things to help us along. But those big changes don't happen immediately, right? It oftentimes with human behavior and our physical reality, it takes time to get there, and it's really uncomfortable to be in that gap. That's what we were talking about on the call last night, because it's like you see like the job is toxic, right? And you want to do something else, but now we're in this waiting period of like between the decision making and knowing and the opportunity and the change in our spiritual being, in our mental being, in our physical reality. That change hasn't happened yet. And so there's a gap between like the awareness of what you want and where you're going and like it actually being or showing up in some way, right, in your life. And that gap sucks. It's so uncomfortable, right? Our brains hate it. But I just want you to know, like, that's normal. Like, that is how change happens. When you guys feel that discomfort of like, I want to be doing this, or I know I want something different, right? And you feel all that, it's so uncomfortable in our bodies, right? But just know that that is what change truly feels like. I've coached hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people at this point, and I'm telling you, I see it all the time, especially with people that are about to make big moves in their life. They start feeling this like really big discomfort. And it's because they've built up so much awareness on who they want to be and what they want their life to be and how they want to show up. They've built up all this awareness, but it takes time for reality to shift and change. And so they're in the conflict of those two things. But that always makes me excited when I coach people and they're like that. I'm like, oh, we're about to make something really cool happen. Like something really cool is about to happen. So, how do you want to remember this year's challenges? So, we talked about all these challenges in the chat. What do you want to remember about them? What story do you want to tell about them? What do you want to think about them? Right. And so, here's the thing, right? I think it's okay to think like getting cancer sucks or having to be in the hospital with your baby sucks. Like, I think that's okay. Right. But ultimately, is that really the story we want to tell forever, right? I think there has to be some processing and acknowledgement of those feelings of suckiness, right? Uh, because otherwise we're just like bullshitting ourselves, right? But then at a certain point, it's like, is it useful for me to keep focusing on if it sucks or not? Here's another thing I was coaching somebody on last night. We were talking about like you get to decide what things mean, right? And I was telling her, I was like, when I would get in my car to drive my vehicle, right? Every time I would get in my car to drive my vehicle, I would start thinking about somebody hitting me and dying in a head-on collision. And I would think about it, think about it, think about it, think about it. I would like go on my phone and like look up stats, right, about how many people die in a head-on collision. I'd be like all freaked out about it, right? And it's like, is it true that when I drive my car, I could die in a head-on collision? That's true, right? I mean, I could show you data, right? It's like it's true. But is that useful for me to think about if I want to drive my car? Is it useful for me to think about if I want to be able to get in my vehicle and not have like, I was getting really crazy anxiety about it. I had to go to therapy about it. So it was like not a whole thing, but it was a little bit of a thing, right? That I had to address in my own thinking and my own being, right? And so you have to decide what you want to think about. So you can decide what's the story you want to tell. And it might not be like, oh, I'm so grateful. I heard like Byron Katie. I really love a lot of Byron Katie's work, but I'm not the most positive person in the world, right? And Byron Katie is like this spiritual leader. She's just like, I think just maybe super evolved. I don't know. But sometimes she's like so positive. It's like, I can't relate. Like, and she'll talk about like, I don't know, like being so grateful you're sick, or like, I'm like, no, that just sucks. Like, I don't feel like that. Like, I don't feel grateful I'm sick. But what I can get behind is like, it's not useful for me to think about how much it sucks. Let me find a different thing to focus on. And so when you guys look at those things, that the challenges you put in the chat, like my question for you is like, what story you want to tell about it? What do you want to make it mean? Right. And it might just be like, I'm a fucking badass. I'm a survivor. I'm a fighter. I'm a motherfucking overcomer. Like, it might be something like that. It might be, we were talking on the call last night, someone said, I want to think I'm a great mom and I prioritize my family, right? It's like, what story do you want to tell? And it's not about like something being true or more true or less true. It's like, it's all, is it true that it sucks and like true that it's a blessing? All of it's true, right? It's all equally true. So if it's all equally true, then like, what do you want to focus on? And to me, the way I figured that out is I just think about like, what do I want? Who do I want to be? Sometimes I'll think about like, who do I want to be? What kind of life do I want? And the version of me that already has it, the version of me that's on the other side of this bullshit. I did this with my website. My website was broken. Did you guys see that? Holy shit, that was so stressful for me. I did not, 10 out of 10, don't recommend. Our whole website was like down, right? And it was broken and I couldn't get it to work and everything was sucking. And I would think about the version of me a year from now, right, that isn't in the middle of this, that has space between like this issue, right, and being on the other side of it, that like she's way past it. She's way on the other side of it. Not only is she through it and processed it, she's like way beyond it. I'm like, that version of me, like, what does she think about this? And I'm like, she really doesn't think it was that big of a deal. Like, it felt to me like the world was ending at the time. Our brains are so dramatic, right? I'm like, my business is going to close. Everybody's going to leave. That's it. Like, it's all done. This is the thing about being a business owner. Like, you still have like your chattery ass brain, like telling you all this stuff all the time. Right. But it was like the version of me that's already on the other side. Like, I really like being in the energy of like the version of me that's already processed it, already gone through, is like so far beyond this, right? She's already like processed it so many times. And like, what does that version of me think about? And sometimes I'll find stories and stuff and things I want to focus on that way by like channeling that energy. Yeah. I want to remember challenges by reminding myself that I have the power to change my life and how I choose to deal with the curveballs that life throws at me. Yeah, I get a lot of comfort in that too, Chantel. Like, there's something to me about like, I wrote in the email one of my favorite little like life coachy sayings, and it's like, you can't, you don't get to decide what happens to you in life. You don't get to decide. And I am a believer like that unfair, terrible shit happens to people all the time. Like, I don't think life is fair. I think can be really brutal and difficult in a lot of ways, right? And we don't get to decide what happens to us, but we do get to decide how we see it. And we do get to decide what we do about it. And we do get to decide how we show up in the midst of that. And I get a lot of comfort in that. It feels like, Chantel, you can tell me how it feels to you, but to me, it makes me feel powerful in situations where it would be easy to feel powerless, where you're just like, life be life in me. Like, this is hard, right? And it's easy to feel like so out of control and so like you're just at the whim of life, and like there's like you don't have a say almost, right? It's really easy to feel like that when you're really going through it. But to me, I find a lot of comfort in that too, where it's like, yeah, like I get to decide who I'm going to be in this moment. I don't get to decide what happens in this moment because I'm not God, right? And I don't get to we don't get to decide what happens to us all the time, but we do get to decide who we are in those moments and how we show up and what we want to do with them. Conquered everything that made me feel uncomfortable, stuck, or like I couldn't do this. Holy shit, that's a huge celebration. Y'all give some love in the chat. That's a big one. The challenges have helped expand my self-development and gave me an opportunity to choose to do things different. Yeah, it's like there's beauty in those challenges, right? And like I'm saying, it doesn't mean that they're fair or they don't suck. Like those moments are difficult, but there's like beauty and appreciation I think we can find in everything. And that's what I just find like the human experience and like our brains and how we have this human experience. I find it really interesting. Yeah, you try 2025. I survived anyway. Yeah, right. Sometimes I get in that kind of energy where it's like you can't fucking take me down. Like you just can't do it. It's like, like no matter what life is gonna throw at me, no matter how lifey it gets, it's like I'm still gonna be here, like living my life, having a good fucking life, right? No matter what. Oh my gosh, I was in a head-on collision. Oh my goodness. That's so scary, but survived. Still not fun, but I know that I'm a survivor. If that's the worst that can happen, then everything else is a piece of cake. Yeah, that sounds like a really crazy story. I'm sure that was a really, really scary experience. I preserved and kept. It's funny because I don't even know anybody that's really been in a bad car accident. It's just like our brain sometimes will find something, and like my brain especially loves to like fixate. I think it's part of my ADHD. It's like what it like we'll find something and it's just like, what about this? What about this? What about this? It's just like obsesses over it. I preserved and kept showing up even when I had every reason not to. That's a big win, right? Like that is a celebration. Like you fucking did it. Like everybody on here, like we fucking made it. Like we kept showing up. Like there's a lot we can find to be proud of ourselves. I think sometimes it's hard to feel proud of yourself, but I'm telling you guys, if you're doing the human experience, I think we all can find things to be proud of for sure, especially at the end of the year. Yeah, it helps bring the feelings of control back, right? Like I'm not just like I don't know, like floating out here in the life ocean being tossed around, right? It's like, oh, I have a say, like I have some input here. Is there a point where focusing on positive is bad and unhealthy? Yeah, I think like well, toxic positivity, right, Calvin? So the line I walk and why I talk so much about negative emotions and feelings and partnering with negative emotions is because I fucking hate a lot of the stuff in the self-help industry. I think it sucks. I think it's stupid. like I like not that I think it's stupid, but I think it like is very superficial. I think it lacks like the depth that's available in this work in like I don't know, like learning your how to see your thoughts and see how you think and see how you create results. Like that is also fascinating to me. And I find a lot of stuff in the self-help industry is very like be positive. Like you and it's like you can use anything against yourself to where it's not useful. Like really anything, right? It's like you could take any piece of advice anybody gives you and then take it and use it in a way that is not useful to you, that is against yourself, right? Take something and use it against yourself. And I think the toxic positivity stuff is like meant like with all good intention. I don't think anybody's like trying to be harmful or anything, but I think it really doesn't honor to me it doesn't honor the human experience, right? Because I think acknowledge like not acknowledging like, oh, I was in the hospital with my baby and it fucking sucked. Like to me, like that is honest, right? And I think it's like, is there moments of beauty and gratitude in there too? Yeah. And I think we should honor that and find those. But I think if you just do that and you don't acknowledge the part of you that's angry or disappointed or sad, I think that that is a big disservice. And then I think we can get really scared of these emotions, right? So Calvin's been on a lot of my coaching calls where I'm trying to coach people that are starting online businesses or have online businesses, but a lot of times they feel scared to make moves or they feel stuck or they feel unsafe. And it can be really difficult to put yourself out there publicly and do all the things you have to do to have a business. And I forgot where I was going with that. It'll come back to me in a second. Speaking of, I'm on a medication that like it fucks up my short-term memory. So this is all part of my medication journey is like getting to be on camera. I forget what you're talking about. Um, what the fuck was I talking about? It'll come back to me in a second. Can you give me some practical examples of partnering with negative emotions? I'm not sure how to practice applying that. Sure. I think about it like this, right? So I used to be scared to be on camera. Here's a good example. I used to be fucking terrified to be on video, right? To like where I told my first business coach I would never have my photo on the internet, let alone like be on video. I was like, no way, I'm not doing it. No how, not gonna happen. And I had my blog for a long time, but I just felt like there were things I wanted to say and like work I wanted to do that I couldn't do without being on camera and talking to you guys, right? And having the community. I really had this vision of like having a community like we have now, right? But I was like, I can't have that if I'm gonna hide behind my blog. I got to be on camera, and I had this terrible anxiety every time I would go to get on camera. I would just feel so freaked out, right? Which is in a lot of ways completely irrational. I'm just talking to my phone in my house. It's like, you're completely safe. But my brain was like so much anxiety, right? And I would just feel like so freaked out of like, what are people going to say? And people are going to think you're stupid. And you don't even have anything good to say. And like, who do you think you even are to be online? Everybody's going to think like you're dumb. Nobody cares what you have to say. All these thoughts, like all the thoughts that we have in our brains, right? Our brains are so chattery. And I had all this anxiety. And I think what made it worse for me is if I try to go on camera and I'm like, don't be anxious, don't be anxious, don't be anxious. I don't want to be anxious. I don't want to be anxious. I don't need to be anxious. I shouldn't be anxious. I'm fine. This is fine. I don't need to be anxious. I'm fine. Right. It's like, and the more you're like, I saw an analogy where they're talking about like you push the balloon under the water, right? But it just keeps trying to come back up. Anxiety was very much like that for me in a really intense way. And so what I ended up doing was I was like, I can be anxious. I'm really good at it. This is a thought that has helped me a lot with negative emotions. I'll be like, I can be fucking heartbroken. I can be sad. I'm like, oh, I can be embarrassed. I've been embarrassed so many. I'm like, I've done embarrassment so many times. I have so much practice. I'm like, I can be embarrassed if I need to be embarrassed. And then I did the same thing with anxiety where it's like, I can be anxious. And it's like, and I might have a panic attack and that will suck and it will be okay, right? And so it's kind of this like energy shift of like I don't want to feel that, I don't want to feel that. So like, you know what? Like anxiety, fine. Like me and my anxiety are going to go on camera, probably going to have to partner with some embarrassment. And it's kind of this idea of just like letting the negative emotions come with you, but we're not letting them drive the bus, right? So you're still making decisions with like your higher thinking part of your brain, right? But it's like anxiety and embarrassment and cringiness and whatever else I need to see, they can go in the back seat and you can come here and we're all going to go together, right? Because if I waited till I didn't feel anxious, what would have happened? I never would have got my ass on camera. I can tell you that right now. I had to be able to be anxious and hold space for that feeling and take the action at the same time, right? And what a lot of people try to do, and this goes back to what Calvin was saying too, what a lot of people try to do is they try to focus on the positive to push those negative feelings out. But I think that is an amplifier, right? And it'll come to you one way or another, right? It's like, life has a funny way of being confrontational. Like, so if you're really like, I don't want to feel like this, or it will find you. Like, you guys have that experience. I find that a lot. Let me know if that makes sense. I can give you guys some more examples if you want. But I think it's this idea of like, I can be anxious. I can be disappointed. We talk a lot about in the mastermind where I work with online business owners. We talk a lot about partnering with disappointment, where it's like, what if you're just willing to feel disappointed? What if you're just willing to feel anxious? What if you're just willing to feel embarrassed? If you're willing to feel any feeling, you can do anything. Like a lot of the things that limit us are resistance to feeling those feelings. But if you're like, you know what? If this doesn't work, I'm going to feel really fucking disappointed, right? And it will be fine, right? But you have to build that relationship with yourself, I think. Calvin and I have talked a lot about this, I feel like, this last year, but you have to have a relationship with yourself where your present self knows your future self isn't going to turn around and beat you up, right? So you have to know that your future self has your back, and when you're anxious and when you're embarrassed, that you're not going to turn around and be like, oh, see, you dumb idiot. You have to turn around and be like, you know what, Faith, like that was really embarrassing, but you know what, like I'm really proud of you for being out here. You're not going to feel embarrassed forever, and it is okay. You have to have that relationship with yourself where you can trust your future self to have your back. And that's a lot of the work that we do inside the mastermind too. Oh my gosh, I face my trauma more directly than ever. Wow, you should be so freaking proud of yourself, right? So freaking proud of yourself. I started this year with 0 email lists, and even with cleaning unsubscribes and bounces, I have a little over 200 contacts. That's amazing. doesn't seem like a ton. It seems like a ton though if you picture them all in a room, right? So not to freak you out. I don't want you to get scared of email, but 200 people is a lot of people, right? I think we get this like skewed perspective in like internet marketing land where everybody has these huge audiences. It's like, what if 200 people is a lot of people, right? I think it is. I think it could be. Imagine if you impacted 200 people in a significant way, like in your lifetime. Like that's more impact than probably most people will ever have in their life, really. Like that's pretty significant. On the downside, four family I have with partners already was losing money. Oh, so sorry. It got hit by the hurricane that caused a lot of damage. Yeah. The upside was I refused to stress about stuff I cannot control. Yeah, there's like, right, it's like there's things that are tragic and sad, and then there's like lessons that we find in them. I would never get anything done if I didn't continue to work through my anxiety, stress, and depression. Right? Yeah. Me too. Thanks so much. So more allowing, not utilizing. My confusion was around how is anxiety useful to partner with? Yeah, I like to think about we do this like whole challenge in one of my programs where it's like you draft a team, you have a team of like people that are of like advisory board that's going to help you with your goal, and you partner with your future self. So it's like the version of you that already has the goal. And this challenge is like the version of you that's already making $100,000. You partner with that version of yourself, and you partner with a negative emotion. So it's a negative feeling that you need to be very good at feeling to get the goal, right? So if you think about, I need to get really good at feeling embarrassment to be able to start my business, or I need to get really good at feeling disappointment, right, to be able to go after my goal. So it's this idea of like partnering. And the reason I like the idea of like partnering is I'm like, instead of working against those negative emotions, like what if they're on your team? And then they also partner with the spirit of their business. And so what you'll do, this sounds like maybe a little woo, but I fucking is crazy the stuff people come up with in there. And that's all I do is set up this framework. They're pulling everything out of their own brain, right? But they'll ask that negative emotion that they partnered with. Part of the journaling that we do every day in that program is like, what does anxiety want you to know? Right? What does your anxiety want to tell you? And it's just kind of interesting, like people pull out all kinds of stuff from like really positive stuff to really like maybe not positive stuff sometimes, but it all feels like pretty profound to everybody that's done those exercises. So I think when I'm talking about like partnering with negative emotion, it's because I've taught that program so many times. So some of that language comes in that way. Okay. What do you want to leave behind and what do you want to take with you in 2026? What do you want to leave behind? I saw someone talking about this online and I loved it. I think we're going to do some of this at Plan Like a Boss, or I'm going to do a Telegram group before Plan Like a Boss where we're going to like debrief 2025, like for your online business. Maybe we'll do that in there. But I love this idea of like, I don't have time. Like, what do you not have time for anymore? Like, what do you not have time for? I don't have time for people asking me shit they can Google. Like, I don't have time for it. I don't have time for it anymore. Right? What do you guys not have time for? I don't have time for God, people that like are like energy vampires that just always want, right, to be around but don't want to contribute to friendships. Don't have time for unbalanced friendships and relationships anymore. That's something I've been working on a lot this year. But it's like I'm only available for friendships that give back also, right? That it's not just like one-sided, that are mutual and reciprocal. I don't have time for anything else. I'm not available for it. There's something about that boundary to me that has been really helpful where it's just like I'm not available for it. Like I'm not available for people asking me shit they can Google. I don't have time for it. I'm not available. I just really love that energy. Let's see. I'm still trying to get the med and therapy balance. It's a journey. Okay. Yeah, it's hard. It helps wonders. And I have learned so many useful tools to work with anxiety and depression. It is a journey. I had conversations with my future self. I told him, stop intimidating me with a beating stick. Yeah. Or like, you guys know, like when your future self is out there with the beating stick, where you know if you make a mistake, future you is waiting out there to turn around and be like, you suck. See, you suck. Everybody hates you. Nobody likes you. This was so stupid. And what that does is like when future self, you can't trust your future self, it makes present self scared to make any kind of move in the moment, right? And a lot of times when I'm coaching entrepreneurs, it's not even so much that they have imposter syndrome or they don't know what to do. A lot of it is they just know if they try something and fail, that they're going to give themselves so much shit about it and feel so awful about themselves that their present self can't take any risks or make any moves, right? Because our brains are programmed to protect us from discomfort. And your brain is like, future self's out there with that beating stick. That's going to be real uncomfortable. Like, let's not do that. I don't have time for people who keep telling me they could never do that in reference to a certain hobby. Like, yes, you can. You're just unwilling to suck. I love that, Andrea. It's like, I don't have time for this. Yeah, there's something really, I don't know, there's something to be really powerful about that. I love like a boundary setting energy. Leave behind thinking small, taking with me, discipline. Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, talking to my subscriber list. Yeah, like showing up regularly, where to balance everything out. But yeah, the hardest part can be finding someone you trust and finding the right dosages. Oh, totally. Yeah, that's like a whole thing. Let's do this one. What's different about you compared to a year ago? Damn, a year ago seems like almost hard to think about. Gosh. Well, I the one that comes to my mind is like I got married this year. I never thought I would get married. So that is like my whole perception on marriage and relationships and love, I think, has changed a lot this year. Like a lot. I never really wanted it, just wasn't like a goal of mine. Matt and I also got together. We were both older. I don't know. We just were not on like a marriage uh that's not something we were like thinking about doing, and then we got married this year. It's been really great, but I think that is a lot I feel a lot different in that way. I feel like my experience in partnership and love is a lot different, and like who I am in that area of my life is a lot different than it was in January of last year. I lost my spot. Leave behind self sabotage, take into 2026, follow up systems, and go in for the dream. Ooh, tell me more about follow up systems. I really want to talk about systems at Plan Like a Boss. I'm like noodling on what we're going to do because Plan Like a Boss this year is going to be 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. I've never done it that way, but I thought it sounded kind of fun to do like, and we're doing it on a Saturday. I just wanted like a different vibe. Like, I just wanted like a spend the day getting ready for the year, doing some dreaming, doing some intention setting. Obviously, we'll do the business strategy stuff. You guys know I'm a nerd about marketing. But yeah, I've been thinking about what to put in there. And something that came to me, I love this idea of like, don't set goals, set systems, right? So instead of doing something that's like lose 10 pounds or something, you would set a system that's like every day when I wake up, walk a mile, right? And so you set, instead of setting these like kind of bigger goals, it's like you think about the goal you would want and then you focus on just creating the system where it's like if you follow this system, that result will that result will come because you're doing what you need to be doing. I stand up for myself. Oh, that's a big one. I used to only stand up for others. Oh, yeah. Who else has that one? I see that one a lot too. This year I've started standing up for myself. That is amazing. That is so fucking amazing. I hope you realize how fucking amazing you are. That is great. A year ago, I hadn't touched my hobbies in years because I was taking care of my mom. Yeah. Andrea, you've had a rough couple years too. This year my hobbies brought me back to my life and I have the best direction I've ever had in my business. Yes, I'm very excited for Andrea's business. She has a very cute crafting channel. Leave behind being anxious, stressed over things I can't control. Oh, that's a good one. I think we can all let that go. It's like I don't got time to be fucking worried about that anymore. I don't got time for that. I don't have time to be worried about stuff I can't control. Right? It's like I am done with it. I'm over it. I'm like so far beyond it. This is one of my favorite ones. You guys let me know if you have anything for this one. Maybe nobody has one, but I love this idea of like rejection is protection. You guys heard this? It's kind of a I don't know, like a buzzwordy phrase that'll be around different self-help circles and personal development land, right? It's like this idea that like rejection is protection. And I use this a lot when I was dating. If I were dating somebody and let's say they like ghost you, which happens all the fucking time when you're online dating, right? So someone ghosts you, and instead of being like, what's wrong with me? I'm never going to meet somebody. Like, this is so hard. The apps suck. Like, instead of doing that, I would just be like, oh, like, God is saving me so much time. I'm like, that was not my person. And now we're moving like quickly and like everything is going my way and it's working out like for me. Right. And look at life protecting me. Like that guy was gonna waste a ton of my fucking time. Right. But I'm protected and I'm guided and can nobody fuck with me. That was like my whole energy, like dating. I dated a lot before I met Matt. My husband Matt is a fucking gem, but I dated for a really, really, really long time before I found him. And yeah, when I was dating and on the apps and stuff, it was just like I was just like I was very unavailable. I had a lot of boundaries when I was dating. It's like I'm unavailable for men that waste my time. I'm unavailable for men that don't plan dates. I'm unavailable for men that don't take initiative. I'm unavailable for men that don't text back. Like it was just like I was just like I'm like no, 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 right? But I love that thought. Like sometimes it hurts your feelings when you're dating and you like somebody and they don't want to date you anymore. Like that sucks. Like I don't think anybody loves that, but that thought always brought me a lot of comfort. It's like rejection is protection. Or like I remember once I really wanted this apartment like really bad, right? And I was so disappointed I didn't get it. But then I just remember thinking like, you know what? Like universe and God like really had my back here. Like I think that was the right apartment for me, but maybe it's not. Like maybe I'm wrong. Like maybe getting that apartment would have been a really fucking big disaster. And I just like that energy of like everything is going my way, right? It's like God's got me, universe has got me, I've got me, and everything's going my way, right? I don't naturally think like that. I'm naturally like a pretty negative person, like if I'm being honest, but I like channeling that energy sometimes. Here's something too I've been messing with lately this year that has helped me a lot is I think our human brains have that negativity bias, right? Because our brain's job is to keep us alive in the human body. That's what it's here to do. It's here to it's like stay alive in the human body, conserve energy, right? It's like protect, like stay alive, all that stuff. And that's all programmed into our brain. I totally forgot what I was talking about again. I don't know. I'm having like a brain foggy day. The fuck was I talking about? Twice on one live stream. I was talking about rejection as protection. I just totally, it's like, I can't explain it. It's like my whole, you guys know when your mind goes like blank. This medication that I'm on is really frustrating because it's like usually when I'm talking, I'm not necessarily thinking about, I guess, what I'm going to say exactly. I'm just kind of in the energy of it. But this medication like just wipes everything blank. So y'all got to just bear with me. It does usually circle back. So it probably will come back to me in a minute. So happy to hear everyone's and hopefully this is expansive for you guys that want to go on camera and worry about like I don't know, saying something stupid or feeling embarrassed because you forget what to say. It's like it's all very human, right? And it's okay. So happy to hear everyone's triumphs and how they worked through. I know it's such good energy, right? That's why I was like, let's get on the live stream and have some good fucking energy together. Like we fucking did it, you guys. Yeah. I gave up on men years ago. That's fine. Like, and that's the right choice. That's the right choice for you, right? It's like everybody's on their own journey here. Like, there's no way you don't have to date nobody. You don't got to date nobody, and you're still just as valuable, and your life is just as good. I promise you. I think our culture really glamorizes like marriage and relationships a lot of ways, and I love my fucking husband. Okay, but I think like there's this idea of like it's somehow better or something to be in a long-term partnership. It's not. You're fucking like just as you have the same human experience, right? It's like you still feel lonely sometimes, you still feel sad sometimes, you still feel happy sometimes, you still feel love sometimes, just like you do when you're single. So you're having the same human experience. It's just like you want another human with you while you're doing that, right? And there's a lot of reasons like to not want to date. Like dating takes a lot of energy, it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of boundary setting, like and there's lots of reasons to not want to do that and to spend that energy doing something else, right? For a long time, I didn't date because I was building my business and I had no fucking time for that, right? Once I got the business going, it was like, okay. Rejection in a sense when I'm stressed about making YouTube videos, selling, putting myself out there, and I jump into the crickets. Ooh, I love that expression, jump into the crickets. I'm going to steal that from you, Holly. I've realized in the last few months that my brain is starting to have a positive bias for something, which is wild. Yeah. Oh, here's what I was going to say. I told you it would come back to me. I've been messing with this a lot this year because I think our brains are programmed for protection. My brain can naturally be very negative, right? But and so I would do these exercises where I would get in this energy, just like we're doing now in the live stream, right? Where it's like things are going my way. Like look at you, Faith. Like things are fucking working for you. Everything's going your way. And I'll get in that energy sometimes. And then I just go back to like being myself, which can be, I don't know. I'm not naturally like very high vibey, right? I kind of am like here, I guess, most of the time, right? So I go back to like my baseline or whatever. And I would think I would be like, would it be better if I were like elevated more in my emotions more of the time? Like, should I be trying to like be more positive all the time and like all this stuff? But what I started thinking that has been useful to me is like the positive feelings are so much more potent and intentional when I'm thinking them, that they're 100 times stronger than like just my baseline going about the day. Right. And I think like our thoughts and feelings and actions that are intentional, you guys, at my December workshop, I did a little December finish strong workshop where we talked about having an intentional December. You guys remember that when we were talking about being intentional about rest or work and really loving like your decisions and loving what you're doing and like having your own back and all that stuff. And oh my gosh, I just got distracted. It's strangely freeing to know that putting yourself out there can be a big nothing burger. It frees you just to do it. Oh yeah. It's so funny how that is, right? I made the decision to enjoy the holidays, so my program launch is delayed. Yikes. You gotta have your own back about it, right? You made the decision. It can be still be a good decision if you choose to see it that way. Oh, what I was saying was like this idea that the positive intentional emotions are and thoughts, and when we're being intentional about what we're doing with our actions, thoughts, and feelings, that's so much more potent than when we're just kind of checked out going through the day to day. When we think about like facilitating meaningful experiences or having a meaningful life, I don't think it's that you have to be intentional 100% of the time. Like, I think it's just, I think because those intentional actions, thoughts, feelings are so much more potent than our normal kind of checked out flatline. Like, just we got a lot of shit to do every day, right? It's like you got to get through your stuff. Uh, when we're intentional, it's so much more potent that it only takes a little bit to like really pull some good shit into your life. I think you can get some really good positive things happening for yourself, right? Even if life is still going to be life, right? So it's still going to be unfair, it's still going to be hard, it's still going to be tragic, like it's still going to be life, right? But my experience of those things is different, and my experience of who I am is different. Let's see if I can pull some like positive ones. Ooh, gosh, I have so many good questions in here. Oh damn, we only have 5 minutes. Here's a good one. What surprised you the most about what you're capable of? What surprised you the most? I got a lot of work done this year. I think that surprised me the most. Like, I've been really working on my capacity to increase my output. That was kind of my focus for the year, to like increase like I made two whole new programs this year, which might not sound like a lot, but those are like big programs. To me, that's a lot. Like sitting down and doing all that stuff. I have ADHD. Doing this kind of stuff is really fun to me. Coaching people is really fun to me. Working in my working with clients is really fun to me. But sometimes sitting down and taking everything that I teach and making it into a process people can follow feels like the least most fun thing I've ever thought of in my life. But I know it's really useful to people in my community, right? And I know some people just want to come to the calls and that's fine, but some people need that like step-by-step structure to get the results. And it's important to me that people in my community get results, right? So we made We're in Business Now and the Bundle Boss course, both of which are huge projects. I can struggle with stuff like that with my ADHD. I don't thrive necessarily with like big detail oriented projects, but I'm really proud of myself because I feel like I expanded my capacity for producing and what I'm able to put out in the world and expressing my ideas and explaining things in different ways to people. um yeah, and so I think that is that was surprising to me, right? And I think I knew it would be hard. So funny because it's like it was hard, but it wasn't once I decided to do it. Does that make sense? It's like it was difficult the doing of it, but I think harder than the doing of it was the decision to try, right? Because part of me is like, you guys remember when I launched We're in Business Now? I had this whole disclaimer that was like, this is the schedule, but I have depression and I have ADHD, and I don't know if I can stick to this schedule. It had to be done in a really short window of time. I only had like 6 weeks to make it or something because of everything else that was already on the calendar. I had like this one little window that was open. And I was worried that I wouldn't be able to deliver every week that consistently. And so I had all these disclaimers in there being like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this done. I'm going to try my best, but like, please be flexible. And the people in the beta round were great, right? And I gave them a fucking crazy good deal on that program. They got it for like the cheapest price ever. And then as I made it, they got the stuff released. And I just said, hey, if like, you might have to wait a week if my depression comes in or if something happens or if I also don't want to just make something because it's due. Like I want it to feel like it's complete and done. I don't want to just be publishing things to hit deadlines. And so I made this whole big thing about it to the community because I was so scared of like my capacity for producing like not being high enough. And so I think that surprised me, like that I am capable of doing that. And actually the hardest part was like being willing to partner with that fear, right? And experience the fear of disappointing people and the fear of not being able to do it. And that was the hardest part. Once I decided to do that, actually producing wasn't as hard as that, right? Does that make sense? So interesting how our brains do this stuff. Let's see what you guys are saying. I made the decision to enjoy the holidays. Oh yeah, we already did that one. Almost missed it, but I thought it would start 8 minutes. Hey, there's already a replay. I love doing these on YouTube because usually when I go live, it's at least an hour long, and it takes for fucking ever to upload. But on YouTube, once I go off stream, it should be like processed and up for you guys right away. It's just when you go to my channel, it's weird. So when you go to my YouTube page, if you're ever looking for live stream replays, you have to click on the live tab. They don't always show on like my main YouTube page. If you're ever looking for a replay, you can't find it. It's usually in there. Let's see. I travel by myself. Oh my gosh. Where did you go? That's amazing. Traveling by yourself is like, I don't know. I've traveled by myself a lot when I was younger, and it's such an interesting experience. I feel like it can be lonely, it can be fun, it can be fulfilling, but I always think that's a badass like power move. Like no matter like it just is. Like so many people can't do that or wouldn't do that, and it can be so difficult to do that and say I want to take this trip and I'm just doing it and I'm going even if I don't have anybody to go with. That's such a strong way to advocate for yourself. It really is. It's like I want to have this experience, and if nobody else can go, I'm going to go by myself, and this is the experience I'm going to have in my life. Like that is a power move. So congratulations. Bouncing back, not giving up despite what life threw at me. The challenges tried to kill my determination, but it only strengthened it to keep moving forward. Yeah, I feel like that a lot too. I do a lot. I do well with like underdog kind of energy where I'm like, you can't keep me down. You cannot. And I'm like, I'm a motherfucking fighter if I know anything about myself. And I'm an overcomer, right? And it's like, no matter what happens, I know that about myself. And I have built a lot of belief around that. So I have a lot of thoughts like that too that are in that same kind of energy that are like, look at me fucking doing it. Let's do one more. You guys want to do one more? Ooh, this is a good one. Oh, I have so many good ones in here. I can't pick one. Let's do this one. What's something brave you did this year? What's something brave you did this year? I launched almost like an entire new business. I forgot about this till like the other day. I still have some app ideas and things that are coming from that idea, right? So in the summer, I made this podcast and it was like, I'm launching a new business. And I developed this whole tech stack thing that we were going to launch. It was going to be like an app kind of idea. And we developed it all and I got it done. And I was like, I don't want to launch this. Like for a lot of different reasons, it just didn't feel like the right thing. I didn't feel like the tech was where I wanted it to be. It wasn't solid enough. And I didn't feel like I had the skills to develop it to where I wanted it to go. And I also didn't want to invest. I mean, it takes a lot of money to develop stuff like that. I didn't want to invest like $20,000 in it. So I was like, it's not this idea, but it's so funny because I think when we're brave and we're willing to just do something kind of bold, even if that thing kind of doesn't work, right? Like that, I mean, all that did was cost me time and money. I could be like, oh, that was a big fucking waste of time. But I don't see it that way. I really feel like it is one step towards me adding some other revenue streams. I really love the idea of having some I love like productivity apps, you guys know, and I love like physical journals and planners and that kind of stuff. I've always wanted to have that kind of stuff. I feel like that business was a step in me doing that, right? And someday if I do have an app or I do have another leg of the business, it'll a lot of the things that I learned like from that first the last little attempt of doing that will come there. And to me it's just like nothing is wasted, like nothing is lost when you're being brave and you're being bold. Like even if you're disappointed at the end or you're embarrassed, right? It's like still to me like worth it because it's like who do I want to be and how do I want to show up in my life? I want to be someone who is courageous like in her life and for the things that she wants, right? And so to me doing something brave is like it's never for nothing, right? It's never all wasted. Our brains love doing that. That's one of the things our brains will do is like that black or white thinking. It's like it was all for nothing. No one will ever buy again. It's not working now and it'll never work, right? They love that. It loves like black or white thinking. You just kind of got to be onto it when it does that. Brains are interesting to me because they think in patterns. And I love coaching people. What I'll do when I coach people is we'll like zoom in on one little thing, and sometimes it seems like, oh, maybe we're just coaching on this one little thing. But I know how they think about one thing is how they are going to think about most things, right? So if I can get them to think about one thing differently, a lot of that will carry over, right? Because I know that they're doing that same pattern in so many ways, right? So, um, like if I just let people go on, it's like they'll just keep doing the same pattern with something else until I help them see until we see the thought process that's happening and zero in on what is happening in your brain and why is that happening, and we get some awareness around that, and then when their brain goes to do that pattern they can catch it and be like, oh, like this is that same pattern. And I think human brains are so interesting because they're so consistent, like especially the things like where we've thought a lot about or had the same experiences over and over. It's like they will think in the same pattern over and over again. All right, y'all. Oh my gosh, Haley launched her membership. I finally got on camera. Yes, Tampa, Atlanta, Tennessee, Minnesota. Oh my gosh. Congratulations. Congratulations, you guys. This was a big year for all of you. And no matter what your brain says, right? I know a lot of times our brains are like, oh, it wasn't really that big of a year, or it wasn't the most important year, or wasn't. It's like, what if it fucking was? What if it was? What if it was a big deal? Like, what if your life and like living another year is a big fucking deal, right? And what if being here and moving forward and doing everything you guys have done, like, and just having a human experience is a big deal, like a huge deal, right? It's like we process so many things every single day. And so I just love taking the time to reflect on the year and be like, I fucking did that. Like, we did that, you guys. We did it and we made it. And we're here to live another year, right? Another year that's going to be full of great wins and learning and beauty and reflection, and then also loss and struggle and sadness, and like all of it together kind of creates our human experience that we're having. And I think it's always worth celebrating. Yeah, I hope you guys have a great New Year's Eve. Happy New Year's, everybody. Thanks for being in the community. Thanks for being here with me this year. I love the work that I get to do. I feel super honored, that you guys even will come to a live stream or come to a Zoom. I remember doing lives not that long ago, and it was like nobody would come. It would just be me talking to myself, which is fine, right? We emailed the replay out and stuff, but it's a lot more fun having people here. And I just want you to know I don't take it for granted at all. And I appreciate everybody. If you're in my community, I just want you to know I appreciate you. I think you're doing a great job. I think you're a big fucking deal. And I think like we're all going to go forward and have a big 2026. I have a lot of really big things I want to do next year, and I'm excited to do them with you guys and to see the things you guys do and to just keep the community moving forward like we do every year. So yeah, that's that. Let me see if I can figure out how to end the live stream. I'm still not very good at like using the live stream. I was pretty impressed with. Did you guys see my video at the beginning? Should I play it again for everybody that wasn't here? I mean, it's really cute. Hold on, I'm gonna play it so you guys don't miss out. Is that not the cutest? Oh my gosh. I'm obsessed with making things in AI. I think it's because I'm not like an artiste. I'm not very artistic, but I can like make all these ideas I have come to life with I really love the Gemini update with Nano Banana. Okay. That was my outro. And it'll be my intro and my outro. I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day. If you're going out, please be safe. Matt and I had dinner reservations. We canceled them. I was like, I just kind of want to stay home. Yeah, you guys like that vibe? I like a staying home vibe. I want to clean my house. I want to write in my journal. I want to eat some delicious treats. I want to hang out with Matt. I don't really particularly want to go out. It's also cold here. I know people don't think like I know I'm going to get shit for saying it's cold and I live in Florida, but it's cold here, okay? I don't like the cold. So we canceled our reservations. We're going to stay in, and I'm pretty pumped about it. But if you guys are going out, please stay safe. And I will see you guys next year.